Hello class and welcome back. My name is Ken Vitale. I'm a physician and university professor. I teach anatomy and physiology, and in this series we review some salient points from class and provide some extra, memory tips for your learning pleasure. The art this time combines the gastrointestinal system and portal vasculature with, literal portals, so I thought that was kind of fun. All right, let's get started. And just to orient you, we talk about this in class. The first half of anatomy, we often approach things as we would approach cadaveric dissection, start from the outside in, and career fields are somewhat related to more surgical areas and physical and occupational therapy. The second half, which is what we're going to start to discuss in these next set of videos, a little bit more in physiology. Certainly there's plenty of anatomy, but gastrointestinal system certainly has plenty of physiological aspects, so hang in there. This is an anatomy class, but we do have some physiology aspects starting to weave its way in. So let's start out with some mnemonics. You recall from class, CBD and pancreatic duct come together, and there are some interesting structures down here that are worth mentioning, and some students have some trouble trying to remember them. We have the hepatopancreatic ampulla of Vater, and then the sphincter of Oddi. And I got a great mnemonic from a student, just putting in the initials for anonymity's sake, but thank you very much. The student, this is a quote that he sent me. I found a cool mnemonic for the lecture 12. Ampulla of Vater and sphincter of Oddi, Darth Vater and Obi-Wan Kenobi. I love it. That is a great one. Thank you much, HV. Of course, if I put in a picture of Star Wars or Darth Vader, we'll get some copyright thing. So I asked AI and ChatGPT. Actually, I think that's a pretty good job here. I like how Obi-Wan Kenobi is holding the ampulla, and Darth Vader has a sphincter right on his chest right there. Unfortunately, it's a major party foul from ChatGPT there, putting Boba Fett's helmet on Darth Vader, and then we get a little kind of creepier in some of these little more dark versions. But hey, I like it. Thank you very much. This is a good one, but please don't mix up Boba Fett and Darth Vader. Okay, on to another mnemonic. One that is commonly discussed are all the different branches of the aorta, and some students have some trouble trying to remember these. Fortunately, there is a very easy and quasi-famous mnemonic for all these different branches, starting from celiac and superior mesenteric all the way down to the iliacs, and it is, canned soup, really good in cup, and I have no idea. That's why this is the picture. That's not soup. That's not necessarily a cup either, and don't know why bamboo's in there, but hey, it works. Okay, what is going on with the portal system? One way some students have had some trouble conceptualizing what a portal system is. Well, you can think of it as, two stops. Think of your Amazon Prime. Most blood flow just goes straight from the warehouse right to the home, right? So your blood flow, the nutrients and oxygen are the packages that go through your body, through the vessels, pushed out by the heart and go straight down to the organs. But the portal system needs an extra pathway, a processing, a distribution center where it goes to one capillary bed, goes through a, venous system, technically, and then again into another capillary bed before it finally enters another final destination. So hepatic portal system is no exception to this. Nutrients from the intestines that you digest, those are the packages, have to get processed first by the liver, since if you imagine yourself out in the wild and scrounging for food, you're going to get bacteria and toxins and who knows what else in the food. Liver needs to process that first before it enters the general circulation. Fun fact, there are actually 3 different portal systems in our body. Hepatic is one, represented there, but the renal also has a portal system as well, and even your brain, the hypophyseal system from hypothalamus down to the pituitary, a 3rd portal system. So it is good to remember your portal systems in terms of anatomy. Okay, next, mnemonic or learning tip here is all those very interesting venous anastomoses that occur when, unfortunately, your liver is not working well anymore. This is why we have to take care of our liver. If we get cirrhosis, that blood flow, represented here coming up through the portal vein, cannot get through, right? You shall not pass, the cirrhosis says, and the blood gets backed up, cannot go anywhere, and you have to, well, find another way. And it's kind of scary what happens, but the blood literally backflows through a different venous system, and it is forced out into the, well, systemic circulation. So your liver does not process these toxins, and they spread to your body. So it is very fascinating, but yeah, as the Jurassic Park famous quote is, life finds a way, or in this case, blood finds a way. So one example, blood comes up through superior mesenteric vein into your portal vein, right, from the food that you just ate, cannot get through the portal vein, backs up and goes in the wrong direction down the inferior mesenteric veins all the way down to the rectal vein, starts engorging the veins around your rectum, and then forces its way into the internal iliacs and then up the IVC that way. Pretty scary stuff. There are 3 classic venous anastomoses that happen with cirrhosis of the liver, and there are some pretty clear clinical signs that tell us, well, you have cirrhosis. One is the caput medusae from the paraumbilical veins. If I have a picture of that right there, blood cannot get through, so it backs up and goes the wrong direction to the umbilicus around your belly button and starts to dilate and engorge those veins. And then sometimes you can see that on a patient, and that is an early sign of cirrhosis of the liver, unfortunately. And these veins can just continue to engorge and spread all along your thoracic cage here, and man, you can get some really serious dilation, and that has been nicknamed caput medusa because it looks like, well, Medusa, and there you go. So that's a pretty scary one. Second one, esophageal varices. This is also not good. Blood cannot go through the portal system, so it has to back up through the left gastric vein and come right up to the esophagus, starts to engorge the esophageal veins, and finally push its way into the azygous venous system and into the SVC. And what happens there? Well, when you're eating food, if you have all these dilated veins, you can get tearing and cause some serious, quite literally life-threatening upper GI bleeds, and that is called esophageal varices. The third one, this is what we talked about in the example a few slides ago. Your blood forces its way down, up from SMV, back down through IMV into the rectal veins and starts engorging veins in your rectum, leading to, my face is blocking this, hemorrhoids, which can cause bleeding. Here is your external hemorrhoids. You can also get them internally into the different venous systems there. And oh yeah, you are going to get, hemorrhoids. So please take care of your liver so your butt can thrive. If you get hemorrhoids, please treat those hemorrhoids. Just don't treat them that way. That is potentially a sign that your dog may have hemorrhoids. Certainly not cirrhosis of the liver, but it can still happen. One way to remember all of these, gut, butt, and caput, that's a pretty easy one. I like it. Your esophageal varices, your hemorrhoids, and the caput medusa. So maybe that's a nice way to remember those 3. Nice clinical correlation if anyone has heard of the TIPS procedure. Very fascinating. Sometimes a second S is added on there. Let's say blood cannot get through the portal system and that blood just sits there. It's going to start to congeal and might even clot, and you're going to get an absolute blockage and no blood can get into the portal vasculature. Well, you're going to have a serious problem. So some smart surgeon figured out a way to forcibly create a shunt and bypass from the portal system directly through the liver by puncturing and then getting into the IVC that way. And how you do it is you take some wires, you send some guide wires. There are a couple different ways that you can do it, through the spleen, the splenic system, right through the liver, but very commonly you come down through the jugular. Yeah, these veins right here. You go all the way down your body, send a wire right through, figure out where you can pierce the portal veins that are engorged and likely thrombosed, and connect them to the hepatic veins, then thread a balloon catheter through it, open up a stent, and then now you have a shunt. Pretty fascinating stuff. This is scary, amazing when it works. It's just so fascinating. Send a wire right through The IVC bypass the portal venous system, make a stent right there, and blood, well, starts to flow again. So please, well, don't get cirrhosis of the liver. All right, see you in the next video.